Welcome to the Black Tornado Podcast, fans of the underground. This is a series that focuses on you, the true fans of local and underground metal. I'm always trying to come up with new ideas, so let's try this one out. Today, I've got Ivy. What's up, Ivy?
Hey!
Hey-oh. BTP fans will remember Ivy from, Blood in the Cornfields and the Women's Month episode. So that was the last time we spoke. It's the last time we spoke via recording device.
And it's nice to be on again. I love listening to your show. Love Grindtober. Love everything about the interviews you've been putting out.
Grindtober. Well, so this comes out after, so we have to act like this year was a success, which it will be when
it is. It's gonna be.
Yes. Well, it already has been, because by the time people are hearing this, Grindtober has come and gone. Yep. It was awesome. It will be awesome, however you want to look at it, depending on where you are on the timeline spectrum. But yeah, Blood in the Cornfields have been supporting you guys since I found you 2 years ago, and I've been on your show, you guys have been on my show, and going back to the very first time that you were on the show, you had brought up your job, and I find that incredibly interesting. And I believe I even said then that I purposely could not talk to you about it then, because that show was already like 2 hours long. And I said, the show's going to be 3 hours long if I get to ask my questions. So, 2 years later, now I get to ask my questions. Very excited.
Excited to hear what you have to ask me.
Yeah, I think for myself, not knowing very much about the field, and the average listener also probably not knowing very much about the field, pretty basic questions. But I think for somebody that's interested in this sort of thing, I think even the basic questions will be interesting. So yeah, let's jump into it.
Nobody ever wants to talk about death.
I do, and that's why we're here today, because
I'm so glad. Yeah.
All right, let's start. Well, I guess let's start with the most basic one. So, what is your job title?
Yeah. So, job title wise, I go either by funeral director, mortician. I do not have a preference. Either one you want to use. There is so many weird, other morticians out there, or funeral directors that hate mortician, and they prefer to be called funeral director because they just think mortician's too gloomy. And it's like, whatever. That's cool. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. It's fine. But yeah, so that's what I do. But I do everything, pretty much. I meet with families. I embalm bodies. I get somebody ready for their burial. I dress bodies. I can cosmetize. I don't do it very often because we have a specialist there at our particular funeral home. So he does it most of the time. And then I also am in charge of getting people laid to rest, especially if they're a cremation or if they do something later in the future. Because the nice thing about cremation is you have so much time. You can plan this out way in advance. Right after the cremation's been done, it could be months, years later, and that's fine. We're here for you. So.
Okay, so with the average mortician, just like a general. Is that something, all of the things that you listed, are those things that all morticians / funeral directors do? Or do some only do certain aspects of the job?
They should all be able to do it, no matter where they go. In Indiana, it is, basically, when you take your classes in Indiana, you are required to basically know all of it. You're going to be the jack of all trades. You're going to be the businesswoman. You're going to be the person that is also the grief counselor. You're also going to be the person that is helping this person through the most tragic event in their life each step of the way. So you need to act like it. You need to be able to have that, bedside manner, because that is what you're doing. You are a guide, and you're just helping. And subsequently, it happens to be a business, so there's always that touchy side of it. And we understand we are not there to gouge people. That is, at least that's not my intention. I never want to do that to anybody. So yeah, basically everybody is required to do all these things. However, that doesn't mean that, sometimes there's people that specialize in other areas than others. Just like, for example, like I don't do cosmetics very often, and that's just because I have another funeral director there that's much more experienced than I am, and that's cool. He likes to do that. That's his happy place, and I respect that. And he is also, you know, higher authority to me. It's like that's fine. I can do that, but that doesn't mean that I still couldn't be able to do it if I need to do it in a pinch or if that guy were on vacation. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in this line of work?
Well, my personal journey, everybody has their own, is that funerals were no, uh, I was no stranger to funerals, I say. When I was growing up as a kid, my parents either knew somebody old that died or somebody in the family died. So pretty
Mm-hmm.
much every year, I would be going to a funeral service. And
Mm.
that was just normal for me. Didn't matter. If anything, I even anticipated a funeral because I liked being able to go and talk to different people. I liked being able to the body. I liked being a part of the service. I don't know. It was just this nice routine. I'm still religious, so I still go to church. I like that routine. I like being able, and I'm Catholic, so there's even more of a stricter routine, and it's nice. I
Yeah.
like that. So like having that routine was nice. It was very traditional, and that really appealed to me. But long story short, I have a cousin in the family that was a funeral director. I think he might still be, but I'm not sure. He just recently sold his funeral home. But um, I worked under him in high school when I originally wanted to become a doctor. And that funeral directing just kind of stuck. I even dropped out of pre med for it. Uh, and here I am, a funeral director, and I've been a funeral licensed funeral director in the state of Indiana for about, I think it's actually 8 years now.
Wow, no kidding. Okay, well, that knocks out the next question. We nailed that. All right. Um, wow, 8 years. That's a long time. That's cool.
Yeah,
Is this something
and
that
it's
you
crazy.
see? Is this something you see like you do this forever?
I really hope so. I mean, honestly, I see myself as either two things, like in the distant future, like say I'm in my 50s, 60s.
Sure.
I see myself still doing this, but I'm probably going to end up being like a school teacher for it. So, like,
Hmm.
I get my education license and maybe teach at college. Or I could see myself just retirement age. I'm still going to be at the funeral home, still going to be doing shit. I'm probably going to end up
Sure.
being a greeter, and that's about
Oh
it.
yeah. Okay. Cool. No,
Yeah.
that's it. I feel like with certain people, they find their niche and they just know like this is for me. I'm happy doing this. And but then you get to the point where maybe in the future you're thinking, hey, I want to educate the next group of morticians, the next people that are going to walk through the doors on their first time, like I did so many years ago. I'm going to
Yeah.
school these people, educate these people so that they're learning the right way. At this point, like you said, you've been
Yeah.
8 years in. I'm sure by the time you reach that point where you're comfortable teaching, have many more years
Mhm.
under your belt and be able to answer questions for the new people and be able to guide them correctly. And yeah, that sounds like a hell of a life plan.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
we'll see what ends up happening, but that I
sure.
just the biggest thing for me is like I just like helping people. I've always had kind
Yeah.
of a servant heart. I just want
Hmm.
to be able to you need help? I'll help you. What is it? What is it that you need? I want to help you get through it.
Yeah.
Um so that's just always been my biggest goal. Like, I understand that it's not a very high paying job, and that's fine. I don't care. If anything, I just want to help you get through this. I know what it's like to lose someone very close to you, more ways than one, and I just that's all I want. Like I'm not here to price gouge you. I am just here to tell you, hey, this is what you can do. Let's get into it. Let's help you through this, and then hopefully I don't have to see you again. And I mean that in the nicest way.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what kind of schooling or training is involved? From getting started to where you currently are now.
Yeah, so schooling luckily in Indiana is pretty pretty nice because it's only 2 years worth of college. You only need
Okay.
your associate's degree. But you still have other things on top of that. So after you finish your mortuary schooling, you have to take two classes, or sorry, two classes, two specialized tests, one for the arts and one for the sciences. If you pass those, great, you become an intern. Once you become a licensed intern, you have to do that for a full year, and you have to get like I think it's up to 10 embalmings under your belt, or however many that is. I think it's 10, but it's like per quarter. You get all those embalmings under your belt. You then have to take, and you finish your year. You have to then take another specialized test, which is your license test, the big one. Indiana state
Mhm.
law.
Yeah.
So once you pass that, you get your official license. You're a funeral director. So it's pretty easy.
Nice.
Whereas like with Michigan, you need 4 years. Other states require 4 years. Some require two still. But Colorado requires none. So take your
Wow.
pick. Yeah.
So if I want to get started in this tomorrow, all I got to do is go to Colorado.
Yep, pretty much. And basically, my understanding with Colorado is it's more of like a trade thing than it is
Okay.
like an actual like license thing, I
Hmm.
guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So during your training, your schooling, did you talk with other students, classmates about how and why they became involved in this line of work?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a little. This is the reason why I'm kind of about it is because there are people that have good intentions and there are people that have bad intentions.
Yeah,
You'll find
fucking
that in
Ed
any,
Geins.
pretty much, you'll
Oh,
find
it's
people that are
weird.
like that no matter where you go, no matter what profession you're in, there's always going to be the weirdos. And it's
Yeah,
like, I'm a weirdo, but I hope I'm the good kind of weirdo. Like, I don't want to be
you're a
the other
legal
type,
weirdo.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So, like, you had two classes of people. You had the people that genuinely were wanting to do good. So, for example, a lot of those people were one, funeral directors, or not funeral directors, but like they had family members that were funeral directors, or
right,
maybe they were the son or daughter of a funeral director and they want to continue the family business.
right.
Or maybe they were forced into it, who knows.
Yeah.
And then you also had others that, and this is something that my teacher told me, is that there are usually three reasons that people become funeral directors. It's one,
Hmm.
either they saw something that they saw done really well at a funeral service and they wanted to replicate and they wanted to carry on.
Hmm.
They saw something done really that was done terribly at a funeral service and they want to make a difference. They don't want to be that
Yeah.
person. Three, just a weirdo and you just want to get into this to be around dead bodies. So those are the three
Yeah.
main reasons that will ever become funeral directors. So the two that really want to make a difference makes sense. Then you'll always have those edge lords. That's what they are. They're edge lords that, I know I look off. I am. But there's others that like to just do it to be weird. And it's like,
I
you do not have the
and
best intentions in mind. Get out of
yeah,
here.
not to cut you off, but I don't think that
Yeah.
your fashion choices, your stylistic view, or maybe the music or the movie content, whatever that you take in, I don't think that has anything to do with being a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? And I think what
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is dress and walk around and act however you want. Power to you, man. But
Yeah.
if you're a fucking weirdo, if you watch the Ed Gein program and like idolize him, I don't want you around a dead body either.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Like,
that's
I don't know what you're
weird.
going to do with that loved one. Get out of
Do you
here.
feel, do you feel like because by by the way you're speaking about it, you have encountered at least one of these people? Is it really easy to pinpoint those people? Like, do you pick them out almost right away?
Yeah, because usually they tend to be, obviously
Like
in it to
hard
just
red
be edgy,
flags.
to brag about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They They brag about it all the time, which I like to
Yeah.
brag about my job, but yeah, because it's cool, and also I like helping
Right.
people. And when I feel like I've done something really well, I kind of want to share it, but I'm very, very like, I don't go into detail about it or anything like that. Just like, hey, I'm just really proud of what I just did here. Give me a
Sure.
cookie, you know? But
But I
like,
think that's for any job is, you do a good day's work and you want to let somebody know.
yeah.
That's, I think that's the norm for any job.
But I think the other red flag for a lot of people like that, that
Yeah.
kind of don't have the best intentions, is that they don't care about the families that come in. They
Hmm.
treat it as like a 9 to 5 job. They just want to get out, get done. And
There's
it's
no
like,
compassion there.
that's not, yeah, that's not what this is for. Or they want to be just that salesman. Like, oh, I sold this casket today and it was $5,000. Or it
Right.
was closer to like the $7,000 point, which we don't sell those very often. But if you have that one asshole that wants to sell that brawn, and it's like, okay, cool, good for you.
Like that guy might be
But
better off at like a car lot.
yeah, exactly. Like,
You
that's
know
not
what I
what
mean?
this is about.
Right,
Yeah.
right. uh, that's
So those are
crazy.
the red flags, I'd say. Yeah.
Sure. So what would you say? What is a positive aspect of your job?
Oh, for me, it's what always sticks with me, and you'll never, and that's the thing with any job, honestly, but even in this one, I like when I'm able to get a thank you for helping me through this,
Hmm.
or even just I'm very happy with the way this person looks. You
Yeah.
know, that's it. That's all I could ever need. Good. As long as I helped you with it, that's great. Even if you don't give me that feedback because you are just in pain, that is okay. I
Right.
just want to know that you're taken care of, that I did the best that I could, and if I did fuck up, which I know I fucked up in over my years,
Sure.
I've had fuck ups, and I feel absolutely terrible. Those fuck ups still haunt me. Luckily, it's
Yeah.
never been anything like drastic, but still,
Right.
they still haunt me. And I think just remembering all the good that I've done to help others makes me feel good about my job. That's the most positive aspect about my job, knowing that I did something to help somebody else in
Sounds
need.
pretty realistic. Sounds pretty normal.
Yeah.
What if any are there any negative or maybe not negative, but are there any really difficult parts of the job?
Yeah, so I only laugh because like my teacher told me one other thing. He goes, 75% of your job is going to be dealing with the living, paperwork. The other 25%, you're dealing with the dead, and that's it.
Right.
So if you can't handle the living, you don't need to be here. Pretty much. Because while, yes, the dead can't complain about the way they look, the living can. But also at the same time, you're just there to help the living get through this. They're still around. They still have needs. They still need help. They've just went through the worst tragedy of their life, and for you it's just an average Tuesday as a funeral director, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always that humbling feeling in the back of your head to remember, just because this is your Tuesday does not mean that this is an average Tuesday for them. So I always need to keep that in mind. I would say,
It's I'm sorry.
go ahead. Sorry.
It's funny the way you worded that. I knew a guy who owned his own tattoo studio. This is going back. I was going back like 18 years ago, and the guy said the same thing to some of his new hires. It was like you might come in on a Tuesday and you're just feeling kind of meh, whatever. But if somebody comes in and maybe it's their first tattoo or they're really
Hmm.
excited because they have this piece that's really important to them, they're going to leave and your day is going to continue. You're just going to have the next person and whatever. But for that person, this is like life changing for them. You know, you're
Yeah.
altering their body for the rest of their life. And like, just saying tattoos as an example, you know, I've got more than I can count, but like, I obviously remember my first one. I remember being nervous. I remember asking 110 questions that probably a bunch of them were irrelevant, but I was new to sitting in the chair, and you know, so it was
Yeah.
different for me. Now, you know, 100 tattoos later, I just walk in, put it on, you know, and I'm like, whatever. Uh,
Right.
but it's like I do remember that you know, just it all being new, it all being um, you're at a different emotional level. You know, the first time you're about to physically alter your body for the rest of your life. And
Right.
as somebody, you know, just like anybody that's listened to the show, I'm sure everybody's been to their fair share of funerals, which I have more than I can count. I have a shoebox full of what I call dead people trading cards.
Oh
I
yeah.
have a
Memorial
shoebox.
folders and shit.
Yeah, I got a box full of them, man. And certain places I feel like really try to cater and try to, you know, go the extra mile for people. And I also understand that it's difficult because, like me, for example, at a funeral, at a wake, I'm not in the mood to talk, man. I'll
Yeah.
give you a quick thanks because I'm acknowledging that you're a human and you're a person and you're doing your job. I'm not going to ghost you, but I'm also not going to, like, I don't want a conversation with you. So,
Yeah.
you know, somebody they're helping or whatever, and I'll just go, hey man, thanks, appreciate it, and then I make a beeline, you know, just like get away from them because, you know, obviously
Yeah.
we're in mourning, we're in pain. It's not really a place where you want to conversate with a stranger. But I do
Yeah.
appreciate the amount of times that I have had to go through that, and especially the really hardworking ones, the ones that are trying to, you know, even just direct people into the right room. You know, some of the places I've been
Yeah.
are bigger venues where there's multiple viewing stations, and if you have older people, you know, they're not
Yeah.
reading the sign, man, they're just walking. And so it's like, oh, who are
Yeah.
you here for? And then, oh, it's down this way, and they kind of walk them through, and you know, just little things like that I
Yeah.
notice, and I'm just appreciative of because you know, everybody is. It's a hard time. It's a difficult day or two that you're going to go through, and even if something funny happen, not haha funny, but something funny like something
Yeah.
odd will happen, the way that they're able to curtail things and kind of mitigate it at the last minute and make something work shows me, like, one, you're competent because you've probably dealt with this scenario before, and two,
Hmm.
you're quick acting. You know, we had a hiccup, and in like 2 seconds you fixed it, so it didn't affect the rest of the day. And yeah, just as the average person, you know, I think more people are probably appreciative than you guys actually hear verbal credit for. And I think if
Yeah.
because if anybody's like me, it's not out of rudeness, it's not out of disrespect. It's just you caught me at a time where I don't want to talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood. I
Yeah.
barely want to talk to my family at these things, let alone you, a stranger. You know,
Yeah.
it's rough.
And grief is so weird too because like, we've all gone through it, but like grief is so strange because sometimes you'll be so grief stricken that you're numb throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about half of what's going on, and that's just
Right.
what's your body is trying to get you through it. Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there is, you have a set idea of what you want the funeral to be like in your head, and if one thing is even out of order, the whole thing's ruined. Like you're done. Like everything else could be fine, and then maybe like let's put it as an example because like I said,
Sure.
grief is weird. Grief can do weird things.
Mm-hmm.
But like maybe a certain song was not played when you wanted it to be played.
Oh
Just
yeah.
something real small,
Yeah.
but it means the world to the family. And
Sure.
maybe, accidents happen, but like that could throw off the rest of everything else, even if it were done perfectly fine. And that's
Right.
okay. Like, we will humbly apologize, do the best we can. Like grief is weird. Grief can set people off. Grief can make people feel a certain way. Sometimes
Totally.
grief can even make people laugh on at really bad moments. I've had that some family
I'm
members that
a
have done that
I'm
as
a
well.
big joker where I
Yeah.
will not I mean my goal isn't to offend people, but I will definitely make jokes within the first like 10 minutes of being there just because it's just my way of it's just how I've always done it. Now, I'm not going to go up to like just as an example, I would not go up to my
Yeah.
sobbing aunt and tell her a joke. But I
Right.
would go up to my cousin having a cigarette and I would, outside and I would then say something just to because in my opinion, I think most people would probably agree with this. You'd rather laugh than cry. And
Yeah.
that's my logic. I'd rather laugh. And so if I can make a joke, obviously not something horribly offensive, just something to kind of break the
Right.
ice and um, kind of just put a pin on the fact that we're all in a very uh, we're not comfortable, right? We're in a state
Right.
of
Yeah.
discomfort, and if I can shake the tree a little bit, just to smooth everybody out. I'm the guy who usually has cold beer in a cooler, and midway through, I'm just like, all right, man, who wants to go outside? Have a beer because this is not getting easier.
Yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely.
do
And we have
I do. I'm
oh,
sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I do
Go
have a
ahead.
question. I didn't write this down, but I just thought of it just now, and I
Yeah.
want to ask. So,
Yeah.
so you're licensed in Indiana, period. You can go to
Mhm.
the other side of Indiana and work. It doesn't matter. You're licensed in the
Yep.
state of Indiana. Okay,
Yep.
so I have a question, and I hope you're going to say
Yeah.
yes. If I
Yeah.
kick the bucket before you do, will you cook me?
Yeah.
I need you to
You want me
cook
to
me.
cremate you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sure.
I'm
That's
gonna
what you
put
want me
that
to
in
do.
the
I'll do that for
I'm
you.
gonna put that in the will. I'm gonna go. You have to contact Ivy via blood in the cornfields.
He like
And
Adam passed on. He asked me specifically to cook him, so
yeah, you got to
all
cook
right.
me, man, because I have uh, I have plans for those ashes, and people
Oh,
already.
okay.
Oh yeah, people already know. Nobody's keeping them because I think that's weird. I don't mean to offend anybody that hangs on to ashes. Like I had my
That's okay.
cat's ashes over there, but
Yeah.
oh well, you know the place because you were just there, Tinley Park. So
Oh
here's the plan.
yeah.
Yeah, so here's the plan.
Okay.
Everybody
Okay.
takes like a dime bag of me. You stick it in your sock, and then when you get up to
Yeah.
the lawn, you just dump me in the lawn. Because then I'm there for all the shows, and I'm just
All right.
hanging
So
out.
that's gonna be a lot of you because
Yeah,
so this is just a fun fact to kind of give you an idea.
please.
So when a person is cremated, the cremated remains are not going to be like sand. There's always going to be
Right.
a little bit of bone fragments and all that in there.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
we do the best we can to grind things up,
Mm-hmm.
to a little bit more of a consistency. However, basically what we tell families is that the the amount that you weighed when you were born is the
Yeah.
amount of cremated remains that are going to come back.
Oh damn. Well, I was a preemie,
Yeah.
so there won't be that much.
So it's just a rough estimate. So a lot of
Yeah.
times, we have an 8 pound, almost like a bag, lack of a better term, like a sack of flour. That's basically what
Yeah.
comes back is kind of that size. So if you think about that, everybody gets like a dime size bag. You're gonna need
Yeah.
like 400 of those bad boys in
Well, they
order
can do.
to
Well, they
cremate
can do
or to spread
multiple
all of you.
trips. Well, they can go to different shows. I mean, they don't have to go all at once, or something cool like maybe like a park, or some
Yeah.
of my favorite fishing spots. Put me in the soil there, but like somebody like just like keeping me on a counter. Like I hope nobody keeps me on a counter because that's weak. Like do something cool, man. Or they do like, which I think is kind of dumb, but whatever. People like press the ashes into a vinyl record.
Oh
Which,
yeah.
like, I guess if they did that, like, don't put music. Just cut, like, all the Like, anytime I've ever yelled or swore on Black Tornado, just, like, cut that into a record. and so it's just me ranting for eternity because that sounds fun.
That's funny.
It's better than
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, he liked white zombies, so here's a white. Nah, it's lame. Just I don't like it. Here's a question because a friend of mine told me this.
Yeah.
I had a friend who worked at a crematorium, and
Okay.
he told me this. He's a bit of a jokester, so I don't know if this is actually true. I heard that when you're cremated and you get your sack of flour, that
Yeah.
that might not be all grandma in there. Might be a little bit of the neighbor
Well,
Bob. Might be a little Timmy. Could be anybody.
no, that's very accurate. And the biggest thing is like, okay, let me kind of clear the air just a little bit because
Yeah,
when somebody is cremated, there is first off a lot of heat, but also
sure.
the heat is also blowing around the cremated remains because it's
Okay.
so much force and there's a fan in there. So
Yeah,
that fan is going to blow around all these cremated remains. So if you
yeah,
think about a retort like this gigantic oven, it
yeah.
is going to be a lot for us to clean out, for one person to clean out. And
Sure.
so we're going to do our damnedest to get every niche, every cranny, every, little we can, but it is impossible to get 100% of you. So it
Right.
is possible that like when we are sweeping, you out as best we can, there, there may be a little bit of Grandma Ruth that was
Yeah.
stuck in the corner, Might be a little bit of baby Johnny. But
Now
like, we do our best.
there's not like a bonus bag where it's just like here's last year and it's just like a cigarettes pack worth of just random ones because that might
No.
be neat. Okay, so that's not a thing. Of
Yeah.
course, we spoke about this before, trying to keep this professional, but of course I have to make jokes because it's not
Yeah.
Black Tornado. It's not
No.
Black Tornado if I don't just go, okay, she's taking this really seriously, so what can I say to derail it? Oh yeah, let's talk about the grab bag people. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So,
um,
yeah, and we can't even cremate dogs with a person. So like,
really?
yes, unless we had like legal permission, like let's say I hope I never get this, but I've heard of
Yeah,
other places that have where
yeah.
like grandma dies, but then they
Mhm.
euthanize the cat or dog to put inside with them.
Oh, I don't know how I
I've
feel
heard of
about.
other people do that.
I don't know how I feel. Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
Because as weird as this sounds, like I would do this. I
Mhm.
kick the bucket, right? Beep, drop dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody knows I want to be cooked. What
Yeah.
if they took my cat's ashes that are already cooked and
Yeah.
like put them in with me?
Yeah, that's
Is
fine.
that
We could do
doable?
that, but like,
Because I would do that.
yeah, because you can usually do that like so after you've been cremated, then your
Yeah.
cremated remains come back, we process them, all that good stuff. We can usually take the cat, either commingle them with you if you want,
Mm.
or we could just have you guys both scattered together. We could even like,
I
two
guess your
separate
family
bags
or
kind of
friends could
ordeal.
do. I guess your family and friends
Yeah,
could do that too. They don't necessarily need you for
yeah.
that. They open up the one, they
No,
open
you
up
don't
the
have
other.
to.
All of a sudden, you got
It's
the old
basically,
coffee tin, and everybody's getting thrown in together.
yeah, it's based on comfort level because I've had
Yeah,
like so for example like Mark and a couple other friends that have lost loved ones, they have asked
yeah,
me to come over and hey, I need help transferring them into this because I just can't do it, like that's just too weird. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, yeah, let me do that
yeah,
for you real quick.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, it's simple for me.
yeah. I mean, yeah. For you, it's probably not much different than opening the Tuesday paper. You know,
Pretty much, but like that's what we're there for,
but that's what I
unfortunately.
mean.
I
That's what I
know.
mean is you're skilled at it. You do it enough where for you it's second nature.
Yeah.
As where the average person is probably difficult. I have remains that I've never opened because I always figure, why, why am I going to open it? I have a general idea of what it probably looks like. Probably looks like ash or something similar to that. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
it's
I don't
more
know.
like the way we describe it to families is it's more
Like a sand
like
or dirt.
rocky sand, like
Okay.
sand that you would get closest to like the what do you call it, like the silty sand. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's got like kind of
Yeah.
more the more gravelly feel to it. That's kind of what it's
Yeah.
more like.
Interesting.
Do
So what's
not
something
ever
about?
ask
Yeah.
me. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do
No, no, go
not
ahead.
ever ask me to fill an hourglass with cremated remains because that is the most painstaking job I have ever had to do before in my life. I will never do again.
Somebody asked you to
Ever.
do that?
Yep.
That's
And
weird.
it's cool. It was very cool, honestly, what
Yeah.
they were wanting to do. We'll never do it again. That was awful.
And it sounds like a pain. It sounds like, I mean, hey, and anybody listening to me right now, when I say it's weird or whatever, I just mean that is me thinking, would I do that? And you do whatever you want. I'm just thinking for me, that's strange. But hey, if you want to put grandma on a vinyl record and play Andrew Dice Clay, over grandma, go nuts, man. I think it's awesome. I'm just thinking for me personally, I think it's odd. I've always thought of the idea that like, in the ground, like in the soil. So like Tinley or a fishing hole or a park. I just think it's kind of cool
Yeah.
because it's like you returning, right, going back into nature,
Yeah.
which I think is cool
And
versus sitting in on a somebody's mantle. Because then one day, nephew Timmy comes over with a wiffle ball bat, and all of a sudden you're getting sucked up by the red devil, and it's just like wouldn't it have been way cooler if I was just in a park somewhere, you know?
luckily, a lot of urns, just kind of as a fun fact, this is what homes should do. Not saying that they all do that, but basically, fun fact is that like we usually have like double containers, so that
Oh,
doesn't happen. So little Timmy doesn't like knock over all your cremated remains and they spill all over the floor. Basically,
oh,
usually we'll
okay.
put you when you're first cremated, put you in a bag, like a
Yeah.
regular bag, zip tie
Yeah.
it, goes inside the urn, which the urn
Hmm.
usually they make so many different types of urns now. A lot of
Sure.
them will
Yeah.
not break as soon as they hit the ground, thank God. Like,
Okay.
not everybody's gonna get that glass vase, like
Yeah.
urn that's gonna be like, I don't know, $400. So
Right.
there's a lot of families that will do like the nice kind of not bronze, but it's got like kind of a bronzy look to it. It's obviously metal and it screws off the top, that sort of thing. Where
Okay.
if it gets knocked over, it's fine. You might get a little
Yeah.
dent, but it's all good. But
It's
yeah,
not
you'll
going to
basically
open
go in
unless you
there.
want it to open.
You're good.
Okay. That
Yep.
makes sense.
We usually even like put cotton on the top of it so that way you don't
Oh.
hear it rattling around like when you're taking it home.
Oh. Yeah.
Like it's just out of like courtesy to help families, so it's not as weird.
Sure.
Um
Do you remember
yeah, yeah. So
do
that's
you
just
remember
a fun fact.
do you remember yak backs? Were you old enough to know what a yak back is?
Help me out because that sounds
Okay.
familiar.
So it was a little recorder. It was about this big. And you press the
Yeah.
button to record and you could say something and then you click the other button and it would play it back.
Oh,
So
is
you
it
could
like
go,
yeah?
it's like a little
They're just
pocket
like a little
recorder.
recorder.
Yeah. And
Yeah, a
it would
little
hold
pocket
like
recorder, but like
it hold like 20 seconds worth of audio.
yeah, yeah.
Just something for kids. You could go, "Hi Ivy," and then click it back and we go, "Hi Ivy," over and over and over
I
again.
used to have one of those for my dog when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
I I thought something like that would be cool to put like in an urn where you press the top of the button and then the person gets to say something. Uh,
That
with
would be
mine it'd be
cool.
like, I could see mine like, "Put me the fuck down," so every time you click it, it's "Put me the fuck down," and you know, quit touching
That'd
the
be cool.
thermostat. Just something I would always yell, and then people could laugh. Speaking of, so you said this a couple times, and I absolutely believe you because I feel like I know you well enough as a person. You say you don't want to price gouge people, which makes sense. Um, what the fuck? What the absolute fuck is up with casket prices, man? What? Why are some
Yeah.
caskets like the price of a car? I mean,
Yeah,
what the
so
shit?
basically it's all based on the material. Yeah, it's all
Right.
based on the material. It's also based on whether or not um the casket is able to be gasketed or not. So what that
Mm-hmm.
basically means is whether or not it seals before it goes into the ground.
Okay.
So some families like that little extra layer of protection, from all the elements, the outdoor elements, even if you got another vault. A lot of cemeteries require a vault that the casket will go into. And so families even get to choose if they want that vault sealed as well. They don't have to, but regardless, a lot of cemeteries require a vault. So if you got to pick out a vault, do you want one that seals or do you want one that doesn't? So with the casket, a lot of families kind of have it in their mind like, okay, if I get a vault that seals, then I can get a casket that doesn't necessarily need to seal, so thus I'm saving a little bit of money. However,
Gotcha.
that's not entirely true, because you'll have like caskets, like I think our most expensive casket is probably about 12,000, and that's like absolute bronze. I have never sold that thing.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. Like, who's gonna buy that? I
With
think
like the DVD screen on the inside, so the dead guy can watch Soul Plane, in the afterlife.
that'd be so badass if we did anything like that.
Yeah, pimp my casket. Yeah.
It's like the caskets on The Simpsons. There's an episode where it's like, yeah, they have a TV in there.
Right.
They have
Yeah.
velvet lining or some shit. It's like, I wish we had something that cool, but no, not like that.
And seeing that, that's
so
why
like,
I don't want to. That's why I don't want a casket. It just seems like it's too much. Like, so just as the general consumer, right?
Yeah.
What is?
Yeah.
Let's say for whatever reason I wasn't interested in being cremated. I just wanted my body to take up space in a ground, which makes sense. What is the absolute cheapest? Like, is there essentially like the cardboard box version? Is there something that doesn't cost very much money?
So kind of. So basically, without and I apologize because my husband's like, you go into too much detail. Shh. And so
I like detail.
I
That's why you're on the
apologize. I apologize if I go into way too much detail. So like basically, there's so many factors. There are so many factors that go into that. So like when I was talking to you about casket prices. So like your average casket is going to be your cheapest anyway. If we're going cheap, it's going to be a metal casket. Your metal caskets have the tendency to be on the cheaper side because they're made out of metal. Whereas wood is going to be your more expensive caskets. So like if you're thinking of like the old terminology, oh, just put me in a little pine box, and bury me. That is actually expensive. That is not cheap like you would think it is. And it's just because wood is more expensive, way more expensive, and it's also heavier. It is a much heavier material. You're going to need more of it in order to hold a body, so you don't have any accidents. So now that's not to say that you couldn't get your own casket. I have had families do that before, where they've ordered Walmart, wherever the hell they're getting their caskets from.
Pause.
Yeah.
Did you just say they get them from Walmart?
Yep. You can get a Walmart casket.
Okay, I'm listening to everything you're saying right now. Audience at home, please do not mind the clicking that you may be hearing. And I'm totally listening. Shut the fuck up.
You can get caskets from Walmart. Yes.
Okay, people, plug on the show. Walmart.com for it's still a bit of loot, right? It's not cheap.
It's still expensive, but it's like it's not as expensive.
I'll tell you what, listener at home, if you have a G laying around, you can get a casket in 3 days.
Yeah.
Cold
That's
grand.
not a joke.
Burning a hole in your pocket right now in 3 days. This one has a 4-star review. Why wouldn't they all have a 5-star? Why does this have a 4-star review?
Probably because it was cheaply made. There's a lot of them that were like made in China overseas, and so they have special pins in there. They come loose on the inside.
Okay. I did not plan for any of this. I just want to read this, and we're gonna get right back. This has a 2-star review titled Disappointed. No. The casket was damaged and arrived late. The funeral was coming up, so there was no way I could return it. No one seemed to care, neither Walmart nor the third-party seller, I won't say the name, I was so upset that I had to bury my loved one in a damaged casket. I would not buy from third-party sellers because Walmart doesn't care at this point because it's not from them. Of course, blank didn't care because he made a sale and knew I wouldn't have time to return it. Brutal. So brutal.
That's terrible. Oh my
Okay.
God.
I am so. This is so much fun. I'm so glad that I thought I have such good ideas. I'm so
Yeah,
happy
you
that I'm
do.
incorporating. I'm so happy I'm incorporating all of them right now. If you're still listening to this, isn't this so much fun? Aren't you just having fun with? I'm having a blast. Uh, that was just awesome. Just to kind of do that. Okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna steer the ship. Black Tornado,
No,
man, the
that's
ship.
cool.
The ship goes off course. Okay, here's another question.
But yeah, it's like, yeah.
Got a 3-star review. Okay, question. Is there a community of other people in your field for support, communication? Do you have conventions?
Yes, all of the above. So, the one here in Indiana is called Indiana Funeral Directors Association. Pretty original, but basically they are a committee of funeral directors in Indiana that kind of gather together. They provide like free help with the help of course, like dues, because you still got to pay your dues if you're in this club. Basically, what it is. And basically, when you pay your dues, they basically allow you to get support. So, like, if you need emotional or mental support, or anything like that, they have someone you
Oh,
can go
that's
to, like
cool.
a counselor. They'll hook you up.
Yeah.
They also provide legal help. So, for example, if we are questioning how we're supposed to go about something
Mm-hmm.
legally, especially if, like, because we have a lot of instances where somebody dies and they do not have legal kin, or at least that we know of, or they
Mm-hmm.
have estranged children that have not been their lives forever. How do we get a hold of them? What can we do? What is our time limit? What are we looking at? Because this person needs to be taken care of as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Um, so they'll provide that legal advice. We also help out with like students. So students that are wanting to get into funeral education, they have a funeral education fund that I make lots of donations to, or at least I try to yearly, to help provide scholarships for these younger people or even older people that want to get into the field. So they basically, excuse me, they basically help out with everything. Then you have like the larger scale one, which is National Funeral Directors Association. This is like global and is also every state.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they have their own conventions. I think the last one was here in Chicago. But they basically go different places, and then you just have meetups, and there's like hearse shows, there's like caskets and urns, and people talking about like help with, families, like as far as like not mental help, but like helping grief help, that sort of thing. Local
Yeah.
places that are trying to sell either sell or promote like their business to either help with the grief aspect of it or even to help with I don't know, what's the weirdest one that I saw. I think it's not weird, but it might be weird to you, like body
Mm-hmm.
donation.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's that too. Yeah, people donating
Interesting.
their body to science,
Yeah.
or
Well,
even
I'm an organ
donating their
donor.
skin or organs.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm an organ donor because I figure. Well, one, what am I going to do with them? And
Hmm.
I mean, I pray that none of you end up with anything in my body. Liver, that's shot. Lungs, good luck. Um, eyes are garbage. I can hear pretty well. So the ears. If I croak and you need a set of ears, I might be the guy.
I'll be real with you, like a lot of organ donations that I ever are usually either eyes or skin donation or long bones. So usually like skin helps with a lot of different things and is usually
If you get
it's
my
your biggest
skin,
organ.
if you get my skin, my family better get some compensation because I got some expensive fucking skin. This shit has costed me plenty of money over the years, and you better appreciate that shit.
Usually, if they're going to take skin, it's either
Yeah.
going to be, so must stand up for this so you get an idea. It's usually going to
Yeah.
be this right here, all the
Okay.
way down to the bottom of your toes. That is going to
All
be,
right.
or like not the bottom of your toes, but like your ankle.
Yeah.
That's going to be donated, and even like your back or even your ass, parts of your butt
All
might be
right.
taken. So
Well,
that's what
I
I've
got no
seen in the
ass,
past.
I got no ass tattoos. So if you want clean skin, I guess the ass is the way to go. And I'm inked up pretty much everywhere else, my stomach and the legs. So yeah, if you end up with one of my cooler tattoos, then just say thank you to my family because most of this shit was expensive. So I hope you enjoy it.
And
Um,
there is a service where they can save your ink.
that's so odd. It's so
Yeah.
odd. You and I briefly spoke about that. Um,
hmm
it had nothing to
It's
do with any of the
expensive as
shows, but then
fuck.
you told me the price. I was like, nah, forget that mess. Like it's cool. Like
Yeah.
it sounds kind of cool, I guess, but like
hmm
I don't know. That seems like some Ed Gein shit to me. Like I don't want my friends' tattoos stretched out on a canvas in my house.
I have a
Next.
friend that wants me to do it for them, and I'm like, okay, but this is how much it's gonna be. If you have that money, then I guess we'll make it
I
work.
feel like I feel like if I wake up one day and I've got my friend's tattoo on my wall, what is to stop me from designing a lampshade? What is to stop me from designing a couch? I feel like I'll go too far off, the deep there. So I'd rather not. Just enjoy the ink on the people that are alive while you know them and stare at their tattoos and
Mhm.
yeah, or do whatever the hell you want. To listen, man, I'm a fucking podcast guy. It doesn't matter what I say. Um, yeah, this was fun. Okay, last question. I have been saving this one because it was fun for me.
Mhm.
We all saw, and by we, I mean if you have not watched this, go back. First of all, you should be subscribed to Blood in the Cornfields because those are the homies.
Thank you.
But if you have not watched this, go back. I saw on Blood in the Cornfields, I think this was like maybe early this year, that you played Mortuary Assistant.
Last
And
Halloween, yeah.
last and it is still my favorite video of your guys's. I
Oh my
laughed,
god, that
and I
game
don't
was
mean
infuriating.
I don't mean like a that's cute. I mean physical, like a physical gut pain. I was crying laughing. It was so good. Uh, so throughout the whole thing, I'm pausing it because I don't want to miss what you're yelling about.
Well,
But I'm
thank you.
laughing, so I have to pause it and just like ha, 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 and then turn it back on. It took me like 2 hours to watch. Um, it's so good.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
what if anything? Because people that don't know, Mortuary Assistant is a horror video game. No, where you play, believe it or not, Mortuary Assistant. But it's like haunted. There's like demons and shit. So it's
hmm
not just like a regular simulator game.
hmm
It obviously has a horror element to it. So I was curious, what if anything did that game get right? Did it
Oh
get
my god.
anything correct?
It did actually, even though like there was times where I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't happen that quick." Like I remember
Right.
that was like my biggest
Yeah.
complaint.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the things that it was able to get right because you'll see in horror movies all the time these outlandish, stupid like embalming scenes that have nothing to do with embalming. I have never seen an embalming done through like the injection of like the foot ever.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like whenever so the mortuary assistant did it right. It basically had, okay, you're gonna cut here, which is like so you can get to the carotid artery, which is a standard place where you would drain blood from. You're
Okay.
either gonna drain blood from here or you're gonna drain blood from your femoral artery, which is, obviously down by your femur and in your inner thigh. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the two main places that we usually get drain blood from if we need to, and then also inject fluid into. So that was cool. I also liked the fact that you had to pick out your chemicals. You had to put them in the embalming machine, which is something you have to do. You got to mix them
Yeah.
up in order for them to work properly. Also,
Mm-hmm.
the needle injector. Holy shit, nobody ever gets that right. And so that's to close the mouth. The
Yeah,
needle
yeah.
injector is
Because I
awesome.
played
Like,
too. Yeah.
yeah, like a lot of people think that it's like this Tim Burton-y, like we sew the mouth shut like this. And they
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that you're gonna see all the stitching and you're gonna see it in the eyes, and it's like that. A lot of times when you set what we call setting features,
Mhm.
you're gonna close the mouth and you're gonna try to get it as perfect as you can.
Mhm.
It's never going to be perfect because your loved one doesn't exactly look the same after they're dead. Not to mention,
Sure.
if you've seen somebody that has been embalmed, they take on more of kind of a plasticky look. And it's
Yeah,
just
definitely.
because they're hard, they're firm, and their
Mhm.
body structure has completely changed. It is not the same as it was anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but like basically like them showing like, putting in the eye caps, which help
Mhm.
close the lids because actually the eye caps have like little darts on them. So it will hold the skin in place. So
Okay.
I don't need to like really do anything unless it's a difficult eye or somebody has really dehydrated eye.
Gotcha.
Sometimes I'll put glue in there to kind of hold them shut.
Mhm.
Same goes with the mouth. Needle injector just helps wire the mouth shut.
Okay.
Or, if you have somebody that has really bad gums, so usually older people,
Mhm.
they have none of their teeth or anything like that. Sometimes when the needle injector doesn't work. So you actually physically have to sew their mouth shut. But the way you sew their mouth shut is weird. You basically have to create two holes that go up underneath the tongue and
Mhm.
another one that goes just above the front teeth right here. And
Okay.
you go through the nose, give them a septum piercing, go back in, and that you can use to tie their mouth shut.
Okay. And it's all
So,
obviously it's internal, so you don't see it
hmm
from the outside. That makes sense.
yeah, exactly.
What was keeping forgetting all of like the demon horror stuff because obviously that doesn't
Yeah,
happen, you know.
yeah.
Outside of that, what is the biggest thing that game got wrong?
Oh, how quick it is to get a body. Just, you want
I
this
was
to be an accurate
fucking
simulator?
dying
You're gonna
all
be
this
there
time.
for an hour,
Yeah.
2 hours. If it's an autopsy, forget it. You're gonna be there for 3 to 4 hours. Glad that it took you that only not even half an hour. Like what, 10 minutes to embalm a body in
Oh,
that stupid game? Because in that game, they're basically like, okay, get through 5, 6 bodies in a day. And it's like,
right.
what the fuck type of funeral home is this? They
Right.
must either be one, super fucking successful, or two, this mortuary assistant was only hired for that. She's not meant to meet with families. She must not have her license.
Yeah.
She's just in the back room the whole day, which there
It's
are some funeral homes that operate that way. But
it's like the McDonald's of the mortuary assistants. You just go in as quick as possible. Just go get them out.
yeah,
Okay,
so it's
cool.
like I think that's the least accurate thing that I saw. I like that they had all those things and like how to suture the person, the different types of
Yeah.
needles that you could use and that sort of thing. So I think for the most part it got a lot of things accurate, which was great to see because you don't see that very often. Especially with the what do you call it? Oh god. Trocar. So
Hmm.
the trocar basically is to relieve gases because gases build up while you're embalming. Sometimes even people have really nasty like edema that makes them super watery on the inside. So
Yeah.
basically what that trocar does is it punctures through all the internal organs so that way you can get all that nasty gas out, but then you can
Gotcha.
also inject a cavity fluid in so that way that the body itself and like you're basically repuncturing the holes but you're putting fluid in them.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
very cool. All right,
And
so
it
the
is,
game got seems like it got quite a bit wrong, but it did get a few things right, which is cool.
yeah. Like I like that. I appreciate that more when they do things right. Um
Yeah.
would love to see an autopsy though in that game.
Maybe that'll be like the DLC, you know, the autopsy part. Who knows?
Right? Because if they get the like the bag and the shake and bake thing correct,
Yeah.
awesome.
All right, you'll give them a higher score if they get those parts correct. Well, we'll have to reach out to the devs and see if any DLC is in the works. Maybe we'll get a second run at that game because I'm telling you, man, your show is while it's a great show and I love the filmmakers and I love the movie reviews, uh, it's not for the most part. You know, Mark will make a crack or you'll make a crack here and there. For the most part, it's not a comedy show. It's not a funny show. Uh, but that mortuary's assistant, Jesus flipping Christ, I laughed so hard throughout that whole thing, and I just kept saying to myself, just do this, just like once a month, just have her play it again because this is so good. I'm never gonna get tired of this, and
That's cool.
that is still to this day my favorite Blood in the Cornfields show
That's awesome.
because I just laughed so hard throughout. It was so
Uh,
good.
we're also
Uh,
not gamers, so that was part of it too. Because like Luke had to keep
yeah,
intervening and like playing it for us because we're getting
yeah,
frustrated with the controls and shit.
yeah. Well, like I said, with that game, if you ever do decide to take a second go at it, because I have it as
Hmm.
well, and you can use an Xbox controller instead of your keyboard and mouse.
That would probably make
And
it so much easier.
that game is set up to use controller. So when I played it, I had my Xbox controller, and movements and like the way you have to navigate the cart. It's so much
Oh
easier
yeah. Oh
with a
god.
controller versus the keyboard. So just something to keep in mind for the future if you ever do decide to.
Absolutely.
I think you guys should do, you know, even if it's like October, you know, do like a video game because there's so many horror games out there, man, and there's so many good ones.
Because
Yeah,
it
you're
was
cool.
like our original venture into video games, like our first attempt at them, like it
Yeah.
did not get very many views, so we're just like, I guess we won't try it again. Like that's obviously not what people want to see, but like if we get feedback that's like, oh yeah, no, that was really fun, let's see another one. Okay, cool. Apologize in advance for my annoying ass for getting upset because I do have a temper when it comes to video games. Like I can
So
get mad
fucking funny.
quick.
So fucking funny. People, I'm really telling you, we're gonna wrap this up here in a second, and you're already on YouTube, so head on over Blood in the Cornfields. There's like a million great episodes, interviews, reviews. um, I'm on there. We talked about Shuttle, which I still fucking love
Yes.
Shuttle, but like forget that. Who cares? Go to the mortuary assistance thing because that is so funny, and if you dig it, please let them know. This was cool. So this was the first of kind of a series that I'm wanting to try, where talk to people, kind of flex the interview muscle a little bit. And you know, Black Tornado, man, I'm all about experimenting and trying different stuff. And this was not just because you know you're my friend and everything. Honestly, this went far
Mhm.
better than I thought. This was cool. This was really interesting, and I think yeah, if you're still listening to this, obviously you learned probably a lot more than you didn't know an hour ago about this line of work. And yeah, I just think, you know, same thing with the music. My logic is, oh, if I like it, somebody else will like it, and that same logic applies to this, where I've always thought that what you do is interesting, and I always thought, well, if I find it interesting, there's a good chance that other people will find it interesting too. So
Yeah, and
please,
I appreciate that.
if you like this one, please let us know. Let me know. Let Ivy know. And of course, again,
Yeah.
go check out Blood in the Cornfields. It is a great program. And yeah, man, this is cool. Thanks so much for coming on. You are the first guest on Black Tornado Fans of the Underground.
That's
And so
cool. And
this was
likewise,
fun.
like if anybody has any questions about funeral directing or wants to know how to get into it or anything like that,
Yeah,
hit me up on Blood in the Cornfields. It's fine. Like I could talk about my job all day long. I try
yeah,
not to like literally we don't like mortuary, but aside from a mortuary assistant, like you'll hear me talk about it once in a while as well. But my husband also did a video where it was like Simpsons clips.
Mhm.
So, but they were
Okay.
all funeral related, and he did it on his
Oh,
hipster or not hipster. Oh God, Prince Dustpan channel. back in the day, and it was just
Oh,
when I
cool.
was, I was like in like 3 years of being a mortician then, and he had me
Yeah.
like react to different like scenes from Simpsons episodes that were all
Oh,
funeral
cool.
related. So
Yeah, yeah.
I love talking about my job. I like being able to talk about
Hey,
and educate people,
shoot me a
you
link
know?
to that so I can check
Hell
that
yeah,
out.
I will.
Is it
It'll
still up?
be Yep, and it's something.
Yeah,
It's
shoot me a
silly.
link to that. I'll check that out. Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you to Ivy for coming on the show and talking about her job. I found this interesting. Anybody that says that you don't learn something on the Black Tornado podcast, well, prior to this episode, maybe that was true. But on this episode, you damn sure learned something. And we learned not to always trust caskets from Walmart. and
Yeah.
we learned well, we learned that if Timmy and his wiffle ball bat comes to your house, that your Uncle John is not going to be spilled all over the floor, which is nice.
Hopefully.
We learned some
Hopefully
stuff
not.
today. It was like the Magic School Bus, if Motorhead was playing on the speakers. This was fun. Thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you again for having me.
Hell yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys know the drill. This is your home for well, it's your home for education right now. And if you like this episode and you want more cool stuff, well, send some people over that do cool stuff. We'll have them on the show and we'll learn stuff together. I'm your bald Mrs. Frizzle, and we'll see you real soon. All right, peace
Nice.
out.
Bye.